ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are reading this 55th shloka. We are coming to the end of this bhashyam. 5th shloka, that is about bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. So we have read the shloka, we have read the bhashyam also, a lot of it. And then the question was, the Purvapaksha was trying to question the need for nididhyasana. You see, when I see an object, as and when I see an object, I have the knowledge of it. So similarly, when you have an idea of Brahman, by the Shravana and Manana, where is the need for this nididhyasana? So that is what Shravana itself. So let us say, Manana again involves two stages. Manana again, yuktibhihi anuchintanam mananam, isn't it? Yuktibhihi anuchintanam means, say, whatever you have heard about the, say, Vedanta Vakyas, that is Shravanam, from various Upanishads and all these things, you have to have a comprehensive meaning of all that. You have to have that Ekavakyata, you have to understand them in the proper sense, in the proper context. So that is that. Then again, Mananam is subjecting it to all types of logical questioning. That is, logically evaluate each and everything and then try to see and then sort out remove all your doubts, mental doubts, etc. That is at an intellectual level. There is another physical level, personal level in the sense personal development level, in the sense that this text says, this Upanishad says, Raga Dvesha Vyudhasya, leave Raga, Dvesha, Amanitvam, Adambhitvam, etc., etc. All those things, they also have to be tested. So this Mananam again is at two levels. One is at the intellectual level, trying to sort out what all the doubts we have and things like that. The other is trying to achieve that level of perfection which the Upanishad sentences contemplate or expect. Upanishad sentences or Gita sentences, they do expect some degree of physical maturity, some degree of paripaka, as Shankaracharya calls it, some degree of maturity. So that sort of maturity is also needed. That is also part of this manana. So when manana when it is firmly established, then you also have to sit in this nididhyasana. You have to continuously be in that state for some time. So Shankaracharya was explaining, saying that it is not like any other jnana. It is not like the jnanam of a pen or some other ghatam or anything like that. This is something where some internal transformation is required. So that is why Shastracharyopadesha may be the mukhya karanam. Then there is what is called sahakari karanam, buddhi vishuddhyadi amanitvadi chapeksha janitasya. So buddhi vishuddhi, amanitvam, adambhitvam, etc., etc. All those things have to be cultivated. All those things you have to test yourself at every point. At every point one has to test oneself. So that is the point. In every interaction you have to test yourself about all these things, amanitvam, adambhitvam, etc., etc. So that is why it is said to be walking on a razor's edge, walking on a chorasya dhara. That is what it was said. So that is where we were. And then one more point was added by Shankaracharya, that is viditva vyuthayatha bhikshachatyam charanti. So he is adding one more point, that the people who know viditva, having known what is this Brahman, vyuthaya, having risen above all these yashanas and all that, then bhikshacharyam charanti, which implies that one has to take up sannyasa ashrama. Then nyasa eva tyareshayat, etc., etc. He quoted various lines, from Shruti and also from Smruti. Ihacha darshitani vakyani, nacha tesham vakyanam anarthakyam yuktam. So that is where we stopped in the last class. That is what does it mean? Nacha tesham vakyanam anarthakyam yuktam means all these sentences should not be construed as meaningless or purposeless. So they are very much in their own context, and then they should not be dismissed as some arthavada. That is the line, the following line. Let us read this line. Nacha arthavadatvam swaprakaranasthatvat. So this is another point. Nacha arthavadatvam. That is, you can't dismiss these lines. What lines? Yuthaya brahmacharyam charanti, nyasa eva tyareshayate, etc., etc. Sannyasa excels all these things, all these sentences. You should not dismiss them as arthavada. Because arthavada, arthavada is some sort of a laudatory statement or a condemnatory statement which we have come across earlier. Suppose you want to praise something. You praise it to the skies. Oh, you read one chapter of Gita every day, you will go to Chandraloka. Or you read 2 chapters, you will go to Suryaloka. If you read 3 chapters, you will go to Brahmaloka. So something like that. I used to read, I used to have some Bhagavad Gita text in my house. So that book contained such statements, Phalashruti or things like that. Then suppose you want to condemn something. So suppose you do like this, you will go to Raurava Naraka, etc. Suppose you do something, for example, something which is prohibited. Suppose there is some solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, and during that eclipse time, suppose you eat, you will go to some particular hell or something like that. So this is some statement. It can be taken as arthavada. Of course, I do take it as arthavada. Some people may not take it as arthavada. But anyway, this is what is arthavada. When you want to praise something, you praise it in a rather excessive way. When you want to condemn something, you will condemn it in an excessive way. So this is both ways excess, isn't it? So that is why arthavada is one of the accepted ways. And then Mimamsa Shastra, in fact this arthavada, etc., they all come in these brahmanas only. In all these brahmanas, the arthavadas come. And then Mimamsa Shastra, it very clearly says, you should know what is an arthavada and what is not. If something is a mere laudatory statement, you should not take it as literal truth. You should not take it as literal truth. Suppose I say, read one shloka every day and then you will go to moon and all that. It should not be taken as literal truth. It should be taken as some sort of arthavada. So here, nacha arthavadatvam swaprakaranasthatvat. These statements should not be dismissed as arthavada because they are in their own context. You see, when sannyasa is being discussed, there is a statement that nyasa eva tyareshayate, sannyasa is the greatest thing. Then when sannyasa is being discussed, the sarvakarma sannyasa is being discussed, in that context only viditva, vyuthaya, etc. is told. So that is why they are not suddenly brought out from some other context. They are in their own context. Swaprakaranasthatvat. They are in their own context. Then Pratyagatma vikriya swarupa nishthatvacha mokshasya.
Pratyagatma vikriya swarupa
nishthatvacha mokshasya. Moksha. Then now he is giving a small definition for moksha. What is this moksha? Pratyagatma avikriya swarupa nishtha. That is staying in one's own immutable self. Pratyagatma avikriya. Avikriya means unchanging, immutable, isn't it? Pratyagatma, the inner self, one's own self, Pratyagatma, avikriya, swarupa, one's own nature, that is one's own nature, nishtha, to stay in that, that is abiding in one's own immutable, if you want to write, you can note down, abiding in one's own immutable, self, abiding in one's own, immutable self. So that is what is that moksha. Pratyagatma, avikriya swarupa nishthatvacha mokshasya. Then nahi purva samudram jigamishoho pratilomyena pratyak samudram jigamishuna samana margatvam sambhavati. Pratyagatma vishaya pratyaya santana karanabhiniveshascha. There we will break it. Pratyagatma vishaya pratyaya santana karanabhiniveshascha jnana nishtha. So jnana nishtha, he is giving another definition. So before that he is giving an example. Nahi purva samudram jigamishoho. Jigamisha means Gantum ichha is jigamisha, that is san pratyaya. Jignasa, like jnatum ichha, jignasa. Like that. That is chikirsha, kartum ichha, chikirsha, gantum ichha, jigamisha, pathitum ichha, pipatisha. So like that. That is, these are all san pratyayas. So purva samudram jigamishoho. Jigamisha means gantum ichha, desire to go. Jigamishu is one who desires to go. Jigamishoho is shashti ekavachanam. That's all. Jigamishoho. Purva samudram jigamishoho means of the person who wants to move towards this eastern sea. Purva samudram is eastern sea. Jigamishoho. Pratilomyana means as opposed to that, Pratyak samudram jigamishuna, one who is intending to go to western sea. So if you want to go to Bay of Bengal, you are not supposed to travel with a fellow who is going to Bay of, the Arabian Sea. You want to go to Bay of Bengal, but you are not supposed to travel with a fellow who is moving towards Arabian Sea. So that is it. Pratyak samudram. Pratyak means west, that westward sea. Purva samudram is eastward sea. Pratyak samudram is westward sea. Jigamishuna, Shankaracharya is from Kerala. So naturally he was having an idea of what is this Purva samudram and Pratyak samudram. So it was an easy example for him. Pratyak samudram jigamishuna samana margatvam sambhavati. Samana margatvam means moving in the same marga, traveling in the same marga. It cannot happen. Samara margatvam na sambhavati. That is, traveling in the same direction or having the same path, having the same tour program, let us say. This is a better word. Samana margatvam. Having the same tour program. That is the most very, very appropriate word. Samana margatvam na sambhavati. Having the same tour program cannot happen. Then, pratyagatma vishaya pratyaya santanakarana abhiniveshasya jnana-nishtha. Now, jnana-nishtha is being defined. What is this jnana-nishtha? Pratyagatma vishaya, that is relating to one's own self. Pratyagatma vishaya, that is relating to one's own self. Pratyaya, pratyaya means jnanam, that is the knowledge relating to one's own self. Knowledge relating to one's own self. Pratyagatma vishaya, pratyaya. Then santana. And that knowledge should be continuous. It should be like a stream. It should be continuous. It should not be broken. It is not intermittent. It should not be disturbed by any other chitta vritti. So, a continuous stream of knowledge of one's own self. So, up to this point, santana. Santana karana. Santana karana means you should have that practice. You should practice. You should have enough abhyasa to maintain that stream. You should maintain that stream of continuous knowledge of one's own self. So, and then abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means a determination. Abhinivesha is determination. So, for the whole sentence, you can say it is a sort of firm determination and also ability to santana karana. Santana karana means to create. You can write it down as a firm determination and ability to create and also abide in that stream of self-awareness. To abide in the stream of self-awareness. It is even in English it is rather difficult. Yes. So I explained every word. That is, pratyagatma vishaya means relating to one's own self. Pratyaya is jnana. The jnanam, that is awareness of what I am. What am I? That knowledge. That is, what is that? You are not different from Brahman. So that knowledge. Pratyagatma vishaya pratyaya. Santana karana, that has to continuously exist. It has to continuously flow like a stream and it should not be disturbed by any other thing. Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means determination. That there you are stuck in that, you are not deviating from that thing. So a sort of undeviating ability to create. A firm determination also you can say, or even undeviating you can say undeviating ability to create and abide in that stream of self-consciousness, self-awareness, not self-consciousness. Self-consciousness nowadays can mean, in psychology it can mean different thing. Self-awareness. So that is jnana-nishtha. Jnana-nishtha is that. So what we have called, earlier we have come across this word jnana-nishtha, yogyata and then jnana-nishtha, etc. What is that jnana-nishtha? Jnana-nishtha is to know about one's own self and be in that state of awareness always without any disturbance. Somebody calls and somebody makes some provocative statement, you should not take a cudgel and go for fighting. So that jnana-nishtha should not be broken. Even if you fight with him, that nishtha should not be broken. So, okay. Sacha
Sacha
pratyak samudra gamanavat
Pratyak samudra gamanavat
karmana sahabhavitvena viruddhyate.
Karmana sahabhavitvena viruddhyate.
Now we are coming to the main point, that is, it is this sa means sa nishtha. That nishtha is Strilingam, so that is why we are having sa nishtha. It is incompatible with this karma. It is something which is, it cannot coexist with karma. Sahabhavitvam means coexisting. Sahabhavitvam, coexisting. So this thing, it cannot coexist with karma. What? Jnana-nishtha cannot coexist with karma. Jnana-nishtha cannot, you can write down, Jnana-nishtha cannot coexist with karma. Just as, say the earlier example was given, Pratyak Samudra Gamanavat, like going along with a fellow who is going towards the, say, Arabian Sea. You want to go towards Eastern Sea, whereas you can't travel along with a fellow who is going to Arabian Sea. So the person who is going to Arabian Sea is on that karma path. You are on this jnana path going towards Eastern Sea. So that is the point. Pratyak Samudra Gamanavat, just as in the earlier example of that going towards from Western Sea, sahabhavitvena viruddhyate. That sahabhavitvam is just not possible. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Parvata sarshapayoriva avantaravan virodha pramanavidam nishchitah tasmat sarvakarma sannyasena iva jnana-nishtha karya iti siddham. Okay. Parvat, then the difference between the virodha, or rather the discard. Virodha is rather the discard between what say Jnana-nishtha and karma. The discard between Jnana-nishtha and karma, or the difference between Jnana-nishtha and karma, is as huge as the difference between a mountain and a sarshapa. Sarshapa is a mustard seed. Mustard is, what do you say? Avaginja. Avaginja is that mustard seed. So the difference is like, the difference is so huge. It is like the difference between a mountain and a mustard seed. Mountain and a mustard seed. So that is the thing. Parvata sarshapayoriva avantaravan virodha. Avantaravan. That virodha is that much of gap. Avantaravan means it is having so much of gap. Then that is decided by Pramanavidam. Pramanavidam Nishchitaha. This is the thing which is decided by all wise people who know all these Pramanas, Shastra Pramanas. Then therefore, Tasmat, Sarvakarma Sannyasena iva Jnana-nishtha karya. So this Jnana-nishtha is something which is possible only by Sarvakarma Sannyasa and not by anything else. So that is it. Iti Siddham. Then a small avatarika for the next shloka. Swakarmana bhagavato abhyarchana bhakti yogasya.
Swakarmana bhagavato abhyarchana bhakti yogasya.
Siddhi praptihi phalam.
Siddhi praptihi phalam.
Jnana nishtha yogyata.
Jnana nishtha yogyata.
So this we have seen earlier. Swakarmana samabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. We have seen Swakarmana tamabhyarchya, by doing the task which is given to him, to a person by the society, depending on his swabhava. So by performing that particular task, you are worshipping that Ishvara, the cosmic being, that Ishvara you are worshipping, in the sense that you are forming part of that cosmic plan. You are doing it with Ishvararpana buddhi, and then you are becoming an instrument in the hand of God. All these things we saw. And what is the phalam of that? Chitta Shuddhi, which is Jnana-nishtha yogyata phalam, yogyata lakshana. So that is what was Siddhi. What is that? Swakarmana samabhyarchya siddhim vindati, siddhim prapnoti. What is that Siddhi? Jnana-nishtha yogyata. So that is what is being repeated here. Swakarmana bhagavata abhyarchanam. Abhyarchanam means puja, worshipping. Abhyarchanam is worshipping. Abhyarchana bhakti yogasya. So that is one level of bhakti yoga. So Shankaracharya is making a small differentiation between two levels of bhakti yoga. That is, Swakarmana tamabhyarchanam is one level of bhakti yoga. Then Jnana-nishtha is the another level of bhakti yoga. So he is making a differentiation. स्वकर्मणातमभ्यर्च्य भगवतः अभ्यर्चन भक्तियोगस्य सिद्धिप्राप्तिः फलम्. The phalam is siddhi prapti, jnana nishtha yogyata. Then jnana nishtha yogyata is that siddhi. Then yannimitta jnana nishtha moksha phalavasana.
यन्निमित्ता ज्ञाननिष्ठा मोक्ष फलावसाना
स भगवद् भक्ति योगः अधुना स्तूयते.
स भगवद् भक्ति योगः अधुना स्तूयते.
शास्त्रार्थोपसंहार प्रकरणे
शास्त्रार्थोपसंहार प्रकरणे
शास्त्रार्थ निश्चय दार्ढ्याय सर्वे इति.
शास्त्रार्थ निश्चय दार्ढ्याय सर्वे इति.
Okay, now we have to now go to that other level of bhakti yoga, that is jnana nishtha. Jnana nishtha is another level of bhakti yoga. So yannimitta jnana nishtha moksha phalavasana, that is sa bhagavad bhakti yoga. That bhagavad bhakti yoga, that particular level of bhakti yoga, which is the cause for that jnana nishtha, which will ultimately lead you to moksha. It is a very complicated sentence. Yannimitta jnana nishtha moksha phalavasana sa bhagavad bhakti yoga. We will start from this sa bhagavad bhakti yoga. We will start from the end. That is that bhakti yoga, which is yannimitta, means because of which. Yannimitta means because of which. That is that bhagavad bhakti yoga, because of which jnana nishtha arises, and that jnana nishtha is moksha phalavasana. So this is the connection. Is it okay? That particular bhakti yoga, we take the words back and forth. That particular bhakti yoga, yannimitta, because of which, you can also write down that bhakti yoga, because of which jnana nishtha arises, and that jnana nishtha leads to moksha phala avasana. Moksha phalam avasanam yasyaha sa jnana nishtha. That is the avasana means that is the culmination. Moksha phalam is the culmination, culminating in moksha. So that sort of jnana nishtha, that is being adhuna stuyate. Now it is being praised. It is being praised. That is shastrarthopasamhara prakarane. That is in the context of concluding the whole shastra, the whole shastrartha upasamhara. That is in the context of concluding the whole teaching of the Gita. Then shastrartha nishchaya dardhyaya. And also in order to assert nishchaya dardhyam. Dardhyam is drudham, strongly assert. In order to strongly assert the shastrartha. So this is the finality. With a sense of finality, he wants to say what is the meaning of this shastra. With a sense of finality, he wants to say. So for that, he is starting the next shloka. So what overall meaning is, this particular jnana nishtha, this particular bhakti yoga, that is the higher level of bhakti yoga, is leading to that jnana nishtha. That particular jnana nishtha, it will culminate in moksha phala. So then let us read the shloka. Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano madvyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. So here sarva karmanyapi sada kurvanaha madvyapashrayah. One who is doing all the karmas, sarva karmanyapi kurvanaha, even though when he is doing all the karmas, because Bhagavad Gita, the problem is, Bhagavad Gita is now being told to Arjuna. So, Krishna has to some sort of, reconcile the active life of a human being. That is sarva karmani. After all, all of us are not going to renounce. All of us we are all in the Grihastha-ashrama, we are all not going to renounce. So the idea of Shastra, or rather the idea of Krishna, whatever it is, the idea of all the Veda Rishis, is not to recommend sannyasa to everybody. So we have to reconcile this active life of a human being with the pursuit of that highest goal called sannyasa, with the pursuit of highest goal called moksha. Sannyasa by itself is not the highest goal. Sannyasa is a means to that highest goal. Highest goal is that moksha, liberation, isn't it? So we have to strike a balance between these two. So that is what is being done. And also all people cannot succeed in Jnana Path. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati, isn't it? So all people cannot succeed in that. So the majority are in this lower level only. So we have to take into consideration all these facts. So sarva karmanyapi sada kurvanaha madvyapashrayah. That is, even though a person is doing all activities, sarva karmani is all activities, sada always, kurvanaha, one who is doing, madvyapashrayah means having me as refuge. Ashraya means refuge, shelter. Having me as refuge means surrendering to me, surrendering all the tasks to me. This is, in this particular shloka, it refers to Jnani Karma, because in the next shloka, Chetasa Sarva Karmani, it is referring to Karma Yogi. So we are now referring to Jnani Karma. In the commentaries, nobody has clearly mentioned. It is, of course, Nilakantacharya writes, Sarva Karmani iti madvyapashrayah ahameva prajnana ghanaha pratyagatma vyapashrayah ashrayah yasya samadvyapashrayah jnani. So he says, Nilakantacharya says, this shloka refers to a jnani. So I too feel that this particular shloka refers to a jnani karma, because jnani also, like Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord King Janaka, all these Rajarshis, jnani also does some karmas. So this particular context we have to take it like that, because Shankaracharya has not very clearly said, but then sub-commentators have said. Sub-commentator Anandagiri also says, Sarva Shabdanurodhena Ishwararadhana Stutiparattvena. So he says Ishwararadhana Stutiparattvena, that is Sarva Karmani. Okay, so here, this particular shloka you can take it as referring to a Jnani Karma. So Madvyapashrayah, that is one who is taking refuge in me. Because Gita is a text which is a very, very problematic text, because we have this context shifts from a Jnani, shifts from Jnani to Karma Yogi, shifts from Karma Yogi to an ordinary, say, performer of karma, karmatha. So like that, and then sometimes higher level of Jnana, sometimes the Brahma, sometimes we are referring to Maya Vachina Chaitanya. So it is shifting. So you have to see what exactly Krishna is saying. Because while Krishna is speaking to this chap Arjuna, probably that can be better conveyed, because when he is speaking, there is an intonation, there is an emphasis on a particular word. When I am saying something, there is an emphasis on a particular word. Now we do not know where exactly is the emphasis. We have lost the speech of Krishna. We have only got the words, written, printed words. So that is the problem. So then, mat prasadat avapnoti. By means by my grace, mat prasadat. Here again it is not a question of duality. When you are talking about Jnani, there is no sense of duality. Then mat prasadat, you have to take it as atma prasadat. Of course, Shankaracharya also, mama ishwarasya prasadat, he says. Mat prasadat, because natu jnanotpatti. Because Nilakantacharya is very clearly saying that it is referring to a Jnani. We have to take it as Mat prasadat means by Atma prasadat. Atma prasadat by proper understanding, by samyak darshana and all that. Avapnoti attains Shashvatam Padam Avyayam. He attains that supreme Shashvatam is eternal, Avyayam, undeclining state, and the eternal undeclining state of awareness. So that is what it means. We will read the Bhashyam. Sarva Karmani Pratisiddhanyapi Sada Kurvanaha Anutishtan Madvyapashrayah Aham Vasudeva Ishwaraha Vyapashrayah Yasya Samad Madvyapashrayah
Aham Vasudeva Ishwaraha Vyapashrayah Yasya Saha
Madvyapashrayah Mayarpita Sarvatma Swabhava Ityarthaha.
Mayarpita Sarvatma Bhava Ityarthaha.
Okay. So Sarva Karmani Pratisiddhanyapi. Shankaracharya is putting a problem before us. Pratisiddhanyapi, including prohibited karmas. Sarva Karmani. This is something Pratisiddhanyapi, that is including prohibited karmas. How can Jnani do prohibited karmas? So this is another problem for which Anandagiri writes, Ishwar Sarva Karmani iti Sarva Shabdanurodhat Ishvararadhana stutiparattvena shlokam vyachaste pratisiddhanyaphi iti. So that is what he says. Ishvararadhana stutiparattvena. In order to extol say the fact that Ishvara's grace will remove all adversities. Even if you commit something wrong, Ishvara's grace will remove all that thing. So in that sense, so that is what Anandagiri writes. Pratisiddhanyapi means even if you do some sort of inadvertently, even if you do some sort of pratisiddha karma also, so even that, say mat prasadat, even if you are doing that, you will attain that highest siddhi. Even if you are doing all karmas, including some prohibited karmas, you will attain that highest level by my grace. So that is the overall meaning, isn't it? So pratisiddhanyapi. So maybe in maybe Shankaracharya is referring to some other minor pratisiddha karmas, some minor violations. For example, just now we were talking about pratisiddha karma. Suppose there is some eclipse. During that eclipse time, you are not supposed to eat. Or some other ashaucham is there. During that ashaucham, you are not supposed to touch somebody. Some minor things are there. Ashaucham or ashaucham. Or on Sunday, you are not supposed to do this. You are not supposed to do this. Amisham madhupanancha yahkaroti raver dine. So we also read one shloka. Amisham madhupanancha yahkaroti raver dine. On a Sunday, you are not supposed to take non-veg and also madhupanam, that is drink. That is what most people do on Sunday only they do. So this is, so of course we are now talking about a jnani. So jnani of course will not do all these things. Maybe have you not heard about that shloka? It is in a very famous prayer. It is in one very famous prayer. What is that? I used to recite in my younger days. Okay, anyway. So pratisiddhanyapi, maybe Shankaracharya is referring to such pratisiddha karmas which are inadvertently committed by a jnani. So sada kurvanaha anutishchan, one who is doing his all these works, by surrendering to me or by having me as the refuge, mad vyapashrayah, aham vasudevaha ishvaraha vyapashrayah yasya. Vyapashraya means ashraya, shelter, refuge. So one who is having me, Vasudeva, as a refuge is mad vyapashraya. Then mayarpita sarvatma svabhavaha ityarthaha. So he is one who has submitted himself to me completely. Sarvatma svabhavaha. So he has completed his whole self to me. Yes, has completely surrendered his whole self to me. Then sopi mat prasadat. One second, let me read out. Is there anything more for this? Sarvatma svabhava. My, of course, Anandagiri has not written anything. Okay. Sopi mat prasadat. Mama Ishwarasya prasadat. Avapnoti shashvatam nityam vaishnavam padam avyayam. So saha api, even that person who is doing all karmas, mat prasadat, mama Ishwarasya prasadat, by my grace, avapnoti, attains, shashvatam nityam vaishnavam padam avyayam. So you have to see, Shankaracharya quite often uses both words like Ishvara and Vishnu. Ishwarasya prasadat, because probably during Shankaracharya's time also, by that time this sort of rivalry must have between this Ishvara followers and also Vishnu followers must have been there. So Shankaracharya very carefully uses these words in the etymological sense, yaugikartha, in the yaugikartha and not the rudhyartha. For every word there is a yaugikartha and rudhyartha. Rudhyartha is the colloquially well established meaning. Yaugikartha is that etymological meaning. So Ishvara, Ishanasilaha, Vishnuhu, Vyapanasilaha. So in that sense he has used Ishwarasya prasadat, avapnoti, shashvatam, nityam, that eternal thing, Vaishnavam, that is all-pervading, padam avyayam, that undeclining, all-pervading power, that place he attains. Place means that state of awareness, that's all. There is no place. There is no question of gamanam, there is no question of gantru, gantavya, abhavat. So that we have seen earlier. Then next shloka, next yasmad evam tasmat.
Yasmad evam tasmat.
Yasmad evam means, because, as told earlier, because of this earlier Ishvara Prasada, you will get karma phalam. Because of Ishvara Prasada, you will get karma phalam. Now we are referring to a slightly higher, lower level of karma sannyasa. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashritya macchittas satatam bhava. So this is directly addressing Arjuna. Mat chittaha satatam bhava. Bhava means you be. So earlier it is in the third person. The earlier shloka, sarva karmanyapi sada kurvanaha. Somebody, some third person kurvanaha. Now you do this. So this is a direct thing. So when directly he is referring to Arjuna, now it is very clearly it is karma yoga. This is the context of Arjuna. It is very clearly karma yoga. The earlier shloka, it was not very clear. It is for the sake of, it is in the context of karma yoga or jnani karma. Because one sub-commentator, that is Bellamkonda Ramaraya Kavi, he interpreted it as karma yoga, whereas Nilakanta is writing it as jnani. So, but in all probability it appears to be jnani karma. But anyway, now this is at least clearly karma yoga. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Now, sarva karmani mayi sanyasya, that is depositing all actions in me, surrendering all his actions in me, means very clearly Ishvararpana Buddhi. You are doing it, doing all the karmas as part of the cosmic plan, part of the cosmic scheme, cosmic mind. Then mat paraha, this word also we have seen, that considering me as the supreme, aham paraha, yasya sa mat paraha, something like that we have seen earlier. That is one for whom I am supreme. That man is called matparaha. Then buddhi yoga upashritya. Buddhi yoga. This buddhi yoga is interpreted as ananya sharanatvam. That is not going anywhere and then having devotion to me only. Having devotion means not merely not to Krishna as such, but to this to the Lord, to the cosmic say ruler. So let us say Ishvara Mayavachinna Chaitanya, at that level we can say. Then buddhi yogam upashritya macchittaha satatam bhava. Macchittaha, you have your mind always on me, you consider me as supreme. So this is very clearly say karma yoga. Chetasa means by proper discrimination. That Chetasa I didn't say. Chetasa sarva karmani. Chetasa means by proper discrimination, sarva karmani, mayi sanyasya. So doing, sarva karmani, doing and sannyasa. What does it mean? On one hand you are doing and then you are saying sannyasa. So it is not some sort of oxymoronic statement. It means that you are doing karma phala sannyasa, not karma sannyasa, karma phala sannyasa. So that is what we have seen. We have seen earlier.
Satatam is always.
Sorry? Satatam is always. Yeah, satatam is always. Then chetasa viveka buddhya.
Chetasa viveka buddhya.
Sarva karmani drushtarthani.
Sarva karmani drushtarthani.
Mayi ishvare sanyasya.
Mayi ishvare sanyasya.
Yat karoshi yad ashnasi ityuktanyayena.
Yat karoshi yadashnasi ityuktanyayena.
Matparaha aham vasudevaha paraha yasya tava satvam matparaha san.
Matparaha aham vasudevaha paraha
yasya tava satvam matparasan.
Satvam matparasan.
Buddhi yogam mayi samahita buddhitvam buddhi yogaha.
Buddhi yogam mayi samahita buddhitvam buddhi yogaha.
Tam buddhi yogam upashritya upashrayaha ananya sharanatvam. Upashritya ashrayaha ananya sharanatvam. Macchittaha mayyeva chittam yasya tava satvam macchittaha.
Macchittaha mayyeva chittam yasya tava satvam macchittasan.
Macchitta, oh, san here also, okay. Satatam Sarvada Bhava.
Satatam Sarvada Bhava.
Okay. So he is directing Arjuna, you be this, be this. What is that? Chetasa, Viveka Buddhya. Viveka is proper discrimination. Then Sarva Karmani, Drushta, Adrushta Arthani. This also we know, Drushta Phalam and Adrushta Phalam. That is those which are intended for Drushta Phalam, that is these earthly results and also heavenly results. Then Mayi Ishware Sanyasya, having deposited all those things in me, in the sense that not that you do something and you say, okay, I am depositing in Ishvara's account. It's not like that. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi means you are performing all dharma, all actions of dharma in accordance with dharma, and dharma is something which is given by the Lord himself, and so by following his word, by following his order and by doing dharma anusthana, you are following his commands. In other words, you are lending a helping hand to him. You are becoming an instrument in his scheme. So that is the thing. So not that we do something on our own and then you deposit, I am depositing this in Ishvara's account. You can't deposit some bad deed in Ishvara's account. Whatever is dharma only, it has to go to Ishvara's account. Whatever is bad, it comes to your own account. It can't be deposited there.
Samarpana Buddhi.
Yeah, Samarpana. So, Mai Sanyasya Matparaha, then Drushta-Drushtarthani, Mai Ishware Sanyasya, then Yatkaroshi Yadashnasi Ityukta Nyayena, as told earlier, Yatkaroshi, Yadashnasi, Yadjuhoshi, so all that thing, so you do surrender to me, so that thing. Then Matparaha, he is explaining Matparaha, Aham Vasudevaha Paraha, that is considering this Vasudeva as the supreme. Vasudeva is the indweller, the one who dwells in all. Vasanti Jaganti Asmin iti Vasudevaha is one. Vasati Sarveshu Bhuteshu iti Vasudevaha. Vasati. In all things he is the one, the Antaryami, the Antaha Sthitva Yamayati, etc. etc. So that is Parahayasya Sattvam Matparaha. By being that, by having that particular attitude that this Vasudeva, this thing is supreme, then Buddhi Yogam, that is Mayi Samahita Buddhitvam. That is having this samadhi in me only. Samahita means having samadhi. Samadhi means having focus, having concentration, having focused in me only. That is what is Buddhi Yoga. Tam Buddhi Yogam, that particular type of attitude, Ashritya. Ashritya means having followed, by following that. Ashrayaha Ananya Sharanatvam. Not deviating from that, not going elsewhere from that particular path. So that is what is Ananya Sharanatvam. Then Machittaha, Mayeva Chittam Yasya, that is the one whose mind is always in me only. So that is Machittaha, Satatam Sarvada, always Bhava, you be like that. So here we are very clearly seeing this Karma Yoga for the one who is doing all karmas with an Ishwararpana Buddhi. Then next shloka says Machittaha Sarvadurgani, etc. Let us read the shloka. Machitta Sarvadurgani Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi Atachetvam Ahankarat Nashrosyasi Vinanksyasi. Okay. So Machittaha. So by being that Machitta, that is having focus on me only, then by doing this particular Karma Yoga, Sarva Durgani. Durga is Dukkhena Gantum Yogyam, is Durgam. That is very difficult to go across. Dukkhena Gantum Yogyam is Durgam. You can't cross over. Something which is insurmountable or surmountable, okay, you can check out. Something which is very difficult to cross over, a very difficult obstacle, something which is insurmountable. So that is what is Sarva Durgam. Durga, actually the very name also comes like that. Durga is something, that Shakti which makes you go over all such insurmountable things. Durga, by worshipping Durga, you can jump over all insurmountable things, you can cross all such great difficulties and obstacles. So that is the meaning. Sarva Durgani. Durga, so that is why Durgam also, the word Durgam. You know the word Durgam, there is a very big fort. Durga is a fort because you can't go over that, you can't cross over that. So that is why it is called Durga. Very difficult to cross over. So that is the meaning. Sarva Durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi. Because of my grace, mat prasadat tarishyasi, you will cross over. Tarati shokamatmavit. So tarishyasi, you will cross over. Then athachetvam ahankarat na shroshyasi. If ahankarat na shroshyasi chet. Na shroshyasi chet means if you do not listen to me. Atha tvam ahankarat na shroshyasi chet. If you do not listen to me because of your egotism, ahankarat, because of your egotism, that I am the doer, I will do like this, I want to do, I want to do bhikshatanam, I don't want to do this war, etc., etc. Now coming into the context of Arjuna only, na shroshyasi chet, vinankshiyasi, vinasham prapnoshi, that is, you will only attain that vinasham gamishyasi. So because it is in future tense, vinankshiyasi, vinasham gamishyasi. So you will attain that vinasha. So that is it. Shroshyasi, na shroshyasi chet, vinankshiyasi. So is this shloka clear?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read this bhashyam also. Macchittaha sarvadurgani
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि
सर्वाणि दुस्तराणि संसार हेतुजातानि
सर्वाणि दुस्तराणि संसार हेतुजातानि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अतिक्रमिष्यसि अथ चेत् यदि त्वं मदुक्तं अहंकारात् पंडितोऽहमिति न श्रोष्यसि
अहंकारात् पंडितोऽहमिति न श्रोष्यसि
न ग्रहीष्यसि ग्रहीष्यसि ततस्त्वं विनङ्क्ष्यसि विनाशं गमिष्यसि ओके फाइन मच्चित्तः having your mind focused on me sarva durgani durga is sarvani dustharani dukkena tartum taranam here the word tarati. The earlier word is gacchati, here it is tarati. That is all. Dukkena gantum, dukkena tartum. So dustarani, samsara hetu jatani. All these activities which are only leading you to samsara. Samsara hetu jatani. All the jatam is, all the collective, is a collective. Hetu jatani means it is used in the collective sense. All the karmas which are leading you to samsara only. All those things, mat prasadat, by my grace, atikramishyashi, you will cross over. Atikramati, that is crossover. You will cross over. Then if you maduktam ahankarat panditohamiti. Panditoham means I am a pandita, I am a scholar, I am a learned man, I know what I can do. So if you think that like that, athachet yadi tvam shroshyasi, athachet tvam ahankarat na shroshyasi, if you do not listen to me, na grahishyasi, if you do not accept my say instruction. Na grahishyasi means you don't accept my instruction. Tataha, then tvam vinankshiyasi vinasham gamishyasi, you will only perish. So that is a sort of warning to Arjuna. So this warning, of course, he is going to explain why he is warning. He is going to explain. It is not something like a curse or angry curse or something like that. He is going to explain why it is like that. Because every man is a product of these three gunas only, and these three gunas have created some swabhava in a person, and that swabhava again will propel a person. So even if you feel that you want to do something, temporarily you may feel like that, but then your swabhava will not allow you to keep quiet. So that is what he says. Yad ahankaram ashritya. Avatarika, yes, yeah. Idam chatvaya namantavyam. Swatantroham. Kimartham paroktam karishyami iti. Okay. So that is, and you should not think. Idam chatvaya namantavyam means even this you should not think. You should not think even in this manner. What? Swatantroham. I am independent. Kimartham paroktam karishyami. Why will I do something which is told by somebody else? Paroktam. Paroktam means parena uktam. Somebody has told. Why should I do? So if you think like that, yad ahankaram ashritya
यदहङ्कारमाश्रित्य
na yotsya iti manyase
न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे
मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते
मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते
प्रकृतिस्त्वां नियोक्ष्यति.
प्रकृतिस्त्वां नियोक्ष्यति.
So Arjuna, Krishna is explaining, my dear friend, it is not my curse. Na shroshyasi, vinakshasi, etc. It is not as though I am cursing you or frightening you. The nature is like that because you are all human being is a product of the three gunas, and then your swabhava is something which is kshatriya swabhava. So yat means here in the sense of yadi ahankaram ashritya, by taking refuge in ahankara or by holding on to ahankara. Ashritya not exactly refuge here, by holding on to ahankara or by holding on to your sense of egotism. Na yotsya is yotsye, na yotsye, aham na yotsye, that is, I will not fight. Aham na yotsye, yuddha, aham na yotsye, that is future tense. Aham na yotsye, I will not fight. Iti manyase, if you think so, iti manyase, mithya esha vyavasaya. This particular vyavasaya means nishchaya, this sort of idea, this sort of determination is something which is mithya, it is totally unreal. It is something which is unreal, mithya. It is something which is, it just cannot happen. Prakritihi tvam niyokshyati. This prakriti or nature, as you say, not exactly nature, this prakriti is that maya, trigunatmika maya, tvam niyokshyati. It will direct you, it will say impel you, it will direct you to do a particular thing, even if you don't want to. So temporarily your swabhava may be slightly, taking a different view, but then slowly your swabhava will overpower. So that is what he says. Is the shloka clear? Yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti manyase. If you think that you will not fight by holding on to your ahankara, if you think that you will not fight, all that determination is futile, mithya. Mithya you can also say futile. Instead of unreal or something like that, it is all futile. It is all futile. Prakritihi tvam niyokshyati. It will direct you, it will impel you. So let us see the bhashyam. Yacha etat tvam ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti na yuddham karishyami iti manyase chintayasi nischayam karoshi mithyaiva vyavasayah nischayah te tava यस्मात् प्रकृतिः क्षत्रस्वभावः त्वां नियोक्ष्यति. Okay. Yacha etat. And also if you feel like this, what tvam ahankaram ashritya, by holding on to your ahankara, by holding on to your egotism, na yotsye iti, na yuddham karishyami iti, I will not fight. Iti manyase, if you think like that, nishayam karoshi, if you decide like that, then mithyaiva vyavasayah nischayah te. Or your effort, not your effort, your determination is something which is futile. Your determination is something which is futile. Yasmat prakritihi kshatra swabhavaha. This kshatra swabhava is something which will direct you. Tvam niyokshyati. It will direct you. Then a question arises. Earlier also we have discussed this question. Suppose, say you are the very same question of free will and determination, isn't it? A person, we are saying that a person, there is a balance between free will and determination in Vedanta. Determination is only to the extent, not determination, determinism. This determinism is something to the extent that a person is born with some swabhava, isn't it? Then he has got a free will to choose his action. He has got a free will to choose his action, and then he can change his swabhava too. He can change his swabhava over a period of time. Not suddenly like Arjuna. the difference here we have to see is Arjuna has suddenly come to this state of mind. Arjuna, till say an hour ago or till 2 hours ago, because the whole discussion of Gita is only for about 2 hours, isn't it? Till about 2 hours or 2.5 hours ago, this man was fretting and fuming, and then he was just jumping that he would go and kill all these people and all that. And suddenly, some sort of gloom has, say, overpowered him, some sort of anguish has overpowered him. So this is something which is a temporary thing. So this is what we have to see. So that is how we have to explain this free will and determinism. So otherwise, if a man is destined to be something, then where is the question of free will? What is the use of Shastra, Acharya, Upadesha and all that? So a person who is in a particular, say, born with a particular Swabhava, over a period of time, that is what is that Chitta Shuddhi, all this, say, Atma Nigraha and whatnot, all this Nigraha, etc., all they come into picture only in that manner. So that is what we have to see. Then, Nishchaya Niyokshati. Okay. Then next shloka. Swabhavajena kaunteya nibaddhasvena karmana kartum nechyasi yanmohat karishyasya vashopi tat. So the meaning is Swabhavajena, hey Kaunteya, O Arjuna, Swabhavajena karmana nibaddhaha. By your own Swabhava karma, that is the activity or karma which is your Swabhava, which has accrued to you by nature, that is because of your Rajoguna. Because of your Rajoguna, this Kshatriya Swabhava is something which has accrued to you, and because of that, Nibaddhaha, you are bound, Nishchayena Baddhaha, you are bound by that karma. Then, Kartum Nechyasi Yan Mohat. If you suddenly, because of some sudden delusion, if you do not want to do this particular karma which you are bound to do, suddenly out of moha, if you do not want to do, even then, karishyasi avashopi tat, you will invariably do that avashaha, helplessly, even without your, say avashaha, not, you are not in your own control, avashaha, you are in the control of your swabhava. Avashaha, you will do that thing. Paravashaha. Paravasha, you know the word Paravasha. You are not in your control but in the control of that Swabhava. So you, even if you are unwilling, even if you don't want to do, you will have to do it unwillingly. You will do it unwillingly. So that is what it means. So the Anvaya of this shloka is like this. Swabhavajena say karmana nibaddhaha. That is, you are bound by your own Swabhava karma. Then, yadi tvam kartum na ichhasi mohat. If you, out of delusion is a temporary delusion, temporary and sudden delusion. By that sudden delusion, if you do not want to do that particular karma, then avashaha api tvam karishyasi, tat tvam karishyasi. Even helplessly, it is beyond you. You will definitely do that. You will definitely do that. You are helpless and then you will definitely do that because your Swabhava is directing you. So that is the meaning. Yasmacha Swabhavajena Shauryadina Yathoktena Kaunteya Nibaddhaha Nishchayena Baddhaha Svena Atmiyena Karmana Kartum Nechyasi Yat Karma Mohat Avivekataha Karishyasi Avashaha Api Paravashayeva Tat Karma. Okay. Yes, Macha, because of that, and also because Swabhavajena, that is Shauryadina, your Swabhava, Shaurya, etc. is your Swabhava. Yathoktena, which has been told earlier, your Swabhava has been well established. Then Nibaddhaha, Nishchayena Baddhaha, you are bound by that. Svena Karmana, that is Atmiyena Karmana, that is by your own karma, by your own karma. Here, of course, karma, we should not take it as the baggage of previous karma. We should not take it as the baggage of previous karma. We have to take it as The dispositions which are there at the time of birth, dispositions which are there, that is Swabhava. The disposition, Svena Karmana, Kartum na ichchasi yat karma mohad avivekatah. Whatever you do not want to do by virtue of sudden delusion. Kartum na ichchasi, that is something which you do not want to do. Mohad avivekatah, that is because of non-discrimination or improper discrimination, and then out of the sudden delusion, mohat, then karishyasi avashaha api, you will definitely do it, in spite of yourself you will do it, because that swabhava is like that. So that swabhava, we should not take it as that past baggage of karma which is determining this man's action and all that. You have to take it as this swabha, this rajo guna which is there in that particular person, the rajo guna disposition, the disposition of rajo guna and all the characteristics of say rajo guna which are there in him, they will impel him to action, whether he likes or not. So that is it. Okay, we'll continue in the next class. Of course, for this 61, 61 also is simple. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.